Guys, Macca here, and I'm going to do some solo grind, and if anyone is keen, I'm going to go ahead and do some net play, though it's 8:30 in the morning in Australia, so whether or not we can find anyone. Yesterday we were lucky, and we got Kizza, which was really good. Today we'll have to see. My focus is going to be starting with some shield drops, and then I'll move on from there onto crouching wave dashes. Let's go on Yoshi's today. So shield drops, probably just try and do like 5 minutes a day, 5-10 minutes a day with shield drops, just to get them consistent. Because they're there, I can do them, but it's just, I want to keep that consistency, because I do know if I don't do it for a while, the skill drops off. So if I just do 5 or 10 minutes a day, then I should be able to maintain that skill and eventually get to the point where I don't need to practice it anymore. It's funny that the progression from, being a slow shield dropper, so having to go like this and then find the right angle, shield being out for about a second, to an instant shield dropper, which is what I would call these ones. Well, they're pretty close to instant, maybe a couple of frames. I thought it'd be a progress of like slowly getting faster. I guess it was. It happened over the course of a couple of days. But I don't know. Now it just feels natural. It feels like I was never had to do it slowly to begin with. I can just do it. Which is strange. It's like, considering how long I practice, I should be aware of and remember what it was like to not be able to do it, but it's almost like I can't remember that anymore. One of the big things I need to work on, because my shield drops, I'm always shielding with the right trigger, which is something I used to shield with the left trigger, but I'm moving towards shielding with the right trigger because I want to make it easier to wave dash out a shield. But that's something that I need to work on in gameplay, actually, is being able to shield with my right instinctively, because I still use my left in gameplay by accident. So I guess add that to the list of things to work on before OHN in September. So that's like really what I'm focused on, what it's all leading up to at the moment, is just OHN in September down in Sydney. So I've got about 6 weeks until then to get my puff ready. My goal was to get into the top 32 at OHN. Depending on how stacked the tournament is, depending on how good my puff is at the time, that may or may not be achievable, I'm not sure. I came 96th at BAM. So I just went 2 and 2. So I got like halfway through the bracket. Oh, I was average, I mean. So I want to do better than that. Which means I've got a lot of practice to do between now and OHN. So the goal for this month is 60 hours of practice, which is 2 hours a day, which is not going to be easy. Some days will be easier than others. Some days when there's lots of people around to net play and when I've got the time, I can do, over 3 hours of practice quite easily. Other days when there's no internet play, I'm just by myself grinding. It can be really hard to do 2 hours. It gets real boring. But that's my goal, and so that's what I'll aim for. And somehow I'll just have to work out how to do it. Because eventually my goal is still 100 hours a month. Or was it 90 hours a month? It's 100 hours a month, which means you do like 1,200 hours a year. And the goal is that, in 3 years, that'll be enough to propel me to compete at an international level. My eventual goal is to be on the top 100 for the Neon rankings. Whether that's actually achievable or not, especially in just 3 years. Seeing as I've got a family, I've got a business to run. But I don't know. I do well when I have like big goals and things that I'm trying to work towards. It's great to see the progress, like with shield dropping, for example, to go from like not having the skill at all and only being able to shield drop to the left, which is really limiting. It just means when you land, you always have to tilt one way. To now actually like having the skill of being able to shield hop to the right. It's so great to like get the skill in your repertoire, know that it's there, know that you don't have to go through the grind anymore of practicing that. Like I'm still practicing it a bit, but that's just to keep consistency. Like I know that this is a skill that I have, I've just got to like maintain it and make it unconscious, but it's not something that I have to go through the grind again to do. So I can tick that off the list, and now I can move on to other things. Like I used to have to think so consciously. I remember when I started as Puff back in December. L cancels, man, they were so hard. Oh, getting the timing for L cancels, I'd have like 4%, maybe 12% during a game of L cancels. And my L cancels are far from perfect. They still need a lot of work. And in game, I often like forget to press the Z button to L cancel, because I L cancel with the Z button. But now it's just like, for a lot of moves and a lot of situations, it's something that I do naturally. Like I might do a back air. What do I do? Full hop back air to like a, I don't know. Anyway, I can L cancel now in most situations. So it's not something that I need to focus on. Though I'm sure it'll come back around actually into my practice regime and gameplay. It'll be just like getting really good at L cancels. So I'm always L cancelling, as well as like acting out of L cancels will become something as well. But yeah, for now my practice has like 3 parts. Like I've got like basic tech practice. So I've got foundational tech stuff that I want to get down that I don't have down yet. So shield drops is one of those. Crouching wave dash out of shield, short hops, and then after that will be like wave dashing off platforms, both out of shield and regular. So that's like basic tech. So I'll just like practice one tech for ages, like I am just with shield hopping here for 10 minutes, and then I'll move on to crouching wave dashes for probably 20 minutes. So that's basic tech, so that's one part of my practice. Another part is punish practice against level 1 CPUs. So generally this is against Fox, but I threw some Math in there yesterday. Need to work on Falco and Falcon and the other characters as well. But this is just kind of like free flow training where I'll just play against a level 1 bot, and I will try and develop combo strings and try and work things out. It's actually amazing, like some of the things that I've been able to work out already through it with the Fox combo game. Like one of them is like shield drop. If they're at like 20%, 20 to 40% as Fox, and they approach you on the platform, shield drop up air. If they then miss the tech, you can just jump and rest on Yoshi's as Puff. Single jump, rest, and you can get that miss tech. Like that's something I discovered. Up throw, if they DI away, then you can pound them. And then depending on the DI of that pound, you can get either a rest or you can potentially get a second follow-up pound as well. So that's another cool thing. Like you just get all these little like discoveries and little like combo extensions. I was practicing on Fountain of Dreams last night, throwing Fox up to the top platform and working on getting the rest there. And if he misses the tech, then you've got this delay in your second jump that you need to do in order to be at the right spot at the right time. But I will need to practice that with like 20XX Fox and practice the like standard tech. Same with like tech chasing on platforms when you play against like vanilla Fox. Tech chasing, he always misses the tech, and so you've got time to get up and then just work out the roll. But I'm going to have to practice it if they do tech on the platform straight away. Alright, so we've done 10 minutes of shield drop practice. Just going to do some short hops. Maybe for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So short hops, if I dash short hop, especially from left to right, that is the easiest. Second easiest would be dashing to the right, short hopping to the left. But actually doing that now, it feels way less natural. So that probably needs some practice too. And standing short hops like this, where you get the full drift, that's quite hard. It's legitimately hard because I use tap jump to short hop. So I'm going to practice some of these as well as short hop in place, fast fall, and then eventually with my short hops I've got to be able to fast fall them all as well as like I'd like to be able to jump back, aerial, fast fall forward. See how I always add the dash in? That's because when I was starting learning short hops, all I could do was dash and short hop. I've also got to do some work today on Melee.co, getting my training posts up, as well as extracting the Twitch VODs to YouTube. I know that I need to work on a skill when I'm doing it and my hand is like really tight. Because when I can do a skill easily, like my hand just like feels so loose in doing it. Like what's in there? Dash dancing, dash short hop, my hand's loose. But whereas I'm standing short hop, I like grab with this hand. That kind of shows me that I need to work on it. And when I can do it flawlessly as well as not have like a really tight hand, then that means that I'm starting to get the skill down. It was really awesome playing Kizza yesterday, and then he was complimenting me, saying that I've gotten heaps better since last we played. I'm surprised he remembered playing me. I didn't remember playing him, but I did play him in March. So it must have been like just after we moved into the van, or I was down in Sydney or something. I can't remember. Must have been on like wireless too that I played him. But he remembered, but that was early days of the Puff. December, January, February, March, 3 months in. And I hadn't done heaps of practice because I was converting the van as well. But yeah, he said to me, like, whatever you're doing, it's working. And so it's good to hear that, like from someone other than myself. Like I know I'm getting better because there's tech skill that I couldn't do that I can do. I feel a lot more comfortable in a lot of matchups. So I know I'm getting better. I think at the moment, this sort of tech skill practice is the most valuable. Punish practice is also valuable. So what was I saying? I was saying that I think this tech skill practice is the most valuable. Then I think punish practice is the next most valuable. Because like, I just remember as Peach, having like a solid punish game just like accelerates you in games. Like playing against people. Like if you can get them and you can punish them hard, like forward air as Peach at low percent, they miss the tech, dash attack, another dash attack, maybe follow up with an up air and then a nair, and then you end up in like an edge guard situation from 0%. Like that stuff's so valuable. So I'd like to be able to get to the same as Puff. Like really, I've done hardly any punish practice as Puff at all. Whereas with Peach, it was like the primary thing that I did. I didn't have net play back then even. It was too hard. So it was just tech practice and punish practice. So I think tech practice is most vital at the moment because I have so much tech that I need to work on that would just give me so many more options. So I think that's the most vital. Then I think punish practice is next because you just come out with creative ideas and ways to extend combos. And then I think net play is third on the list as the most effective form of practice. It's really great to get the exposure, and I think it's really necessary to do net play or play in person. Net play is great because you play against people with so many different skill levels and styles. Like, so I'll play one Marth and he won't be very grab heavy, so me being in shield doesn't matter. And then I'll play against another Marth who's really grab heavy, so I can't be in shield, you know, and you play against people who just have really different styles, so that exposure is super, super important. But also, like, the main thing that I find net play valuable is when I get to practice the tech that I've been practicing. So it's really hard to do when you play against someone who's really good. Like when I was playing against Kiza yesterday, who was like 3-stocking me, almost 4-stocking me. You're just trying not to die, right? It's really hard to like get in a position where I'm on a platform and I can shield and do a shield drop, because like he's just all over me. So that's hard playing against good players, but it's great to get the exposure and force you to become faster. That's what good players do. Playing against players who are like equal in skill, slightly better than you, but it's close, or like of lower skill than you, that's good to be able to practice your tech skill as well. And then playing someone of lower skill level to you, it comes close to like playing someone who's really bad is like close to playing against the CPU in terms of pressure and usefulness. So that then just comes down to like punish practice. But so much of what they do is random, and then so much of what you get on them is unsafe. So it's, I don't know. I try and have a good mindset of playing bad players. But yeah. Still a good opportunity to just make sure that tech skill is there, as well as to practice the punish. Right, so I think there's 10 minutes of short hops. So as you can see, they weren't perfect, but what I'll try and do is like 10 minutes a day this month, maybe, of short hop practice. I want to try and do like half an hour a day of crouching wave dashes. This is like the big tech that I'm focused on at the moment, now that shield dropping is finished, is doing this. It's so valuable in so many situations. You get the crash cancel, you can duck under Marth, Sheik and Falcon's grabs, crouch cancel and then grab. You can also still do all your aerials and stuff out of it. You can still dash back out of it, though that's something I'll probably need to practice. It also, surprisingly, ends up being really good for getting off platforms and getting speed off platforms. I found that out by accident last night. Now, I'd like to do half an hour a day of this because I planned for crouching wave dash to be my primary form of wave dashing. Which, if you watch Hungry Rock's doing these ones a lot of the time, he is just like staying crouched. There are definitely situations where he'll just do a regular wave dash, but a lot of the time he stays crouching. This makes Puff so much smaller, so much harder to hit. Oh, get you under lasers as well. If I can work out how to time it to wave dash under Falco's lasers, that could be a cool activity actually. Do 3.02 20xx and just get Falco to spam his lasers. Still no one around to net play, which is unfortunate. After this, I'm going to go into half an hour of fox punish practice. Then I'll go back into tech skill. Try and get my 2 hours for the day done as quickly as possible. So that way, if I don't get to play tonight, it doesn't matter. But if I do, then that's extra time. So yes, this is like kind of my most important thing that I want to focus on at the moment. My business, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to work a lot. I got stuff to do, but none of it's urgent. Did my first live stream for my business yesterday. So I run a property website, an Australian property website. And so after doing so much live streaming on Twitch, I thought this would actually be sick for my property website. So I got a mate who's a buyer's agent and successful property investor. And we did like a live Q&A session and it was really good. I only went for like an hour and a half. Actually, I do need to create an overlay for the next time we stream together. I had heaps of trouble with OBS on my Mac, getting it to get the background sound from my Mac. That's something I need to ask my man Thralls about. I'm gonna put some more fillers out there for net play. It sucks that when the kids go to bed, which is like 7 o'clock at night, net play for me doesn't work. My ping is all over the place. It's got these huge spikes, huge uncontrollable spikes in it. I really have to wait till like non-peak times. But like now, like 9 AM in the morning, it's so good. I'll get connections with people that's like 31 milliseconds, so we can run on like 5 or 6 buffer. My hand's definitely starting to hurt. So the way I tend to practice tech skill is just, you start by just getting familiar with the tech, just being able to do it, and then you add in specific situations you want to do. So like I'm just getting comfortable with being able to wave dash around the stage where my finger's not falling off, where I'm staying in crouch. But then eventually I want to do like run, wave dash back twice. Run up, wave dash back twice. I might run, wave dash back, wave dash forward, and then grab. So I like add in these situations, or maybe I want to like L cancel a move and then wave dash back. So once I get comfortable with just wave dashing around the stage, and I feel like I'm getting that down pat. Then I'll move into the next. It's also about speed, right? Because if you're slow in between your wave dashes, and you could be faster, then you want to eventually work in some speed there. There's overlays that you can do. I was going to say I can't do them, like when you're just in weight and it goes green, so you can make your wave dashes faster, but I was going to say I can't do that because when you're crouching you're not in the like stay position, but there would be some standard position that you're in, like crouch, that you can act out of. So I just have to work out what that position is and then put overlays for that particular one. My hand is really starting to hurt right now. Super tense. That's alright, we've only got 48 seconds to go. Then we're going to do some fun punish practice. Oh, I don't know if I can go for 2 hours straight though. Unless there's net play, I'll might get super bored. Alright, so let's write this stuff down.